Hey guys, my name is Moon and welcome back for more Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 5, Meakashi. So, last time Shion was on a mission to look for Satoshi, right? Satoshi was not on the baseball practice, I suppose, right? She talked to Irie and then she talked to Rena as well. The conversation with Rena became kind of creepy. She's talking about Oyashiro-sama, I guess, whispers, talking like that. And then she also said that Satoshi was experiencing the same things, right? But I think, yeah, I think Rena is not lying. I think Rena is telling the truth because, yeah, we know what happened with Satoshi, right? He disappeared, so connections, probably, yeah, connections with that one. So where are we?
はい、委員長号令。
Oh yeah, I forgot. Shion asked Mion if she can go to school. Yes. For a moment, I forgot that the class president was me.
起立。委員長も少し寝不足みたいですね。最近は寝苦しい夜が続きます。でも、しっかりと睡眠はとるように。いいですね、皆さん。はーい。
I'm not sure this place can be called a school because there's so many different age groups. It's like kindergarten, I mean, and then elementary school blended together. Since I'd heard already about what this place was like, I didn't feel that uncomfortable. It wasn't too difficult to act like me on here. Oh yeah, here's Satoshi. As Sis told me, Satoshi-kun looked exhausted. I said hi to him, but he ignored me. Since I knew what's been going through his pain looked apparent to me. I was interested in another person in this room, or the classroom, Satoko. Satoshi-kun's little sister. Damn, look at Satoko. She looked as worn out as Satoshi-kun, emotionless like an abandoned doll. Everybody in this room was aware of their circumstances, but no one could do anything for them. So they just acted as though nothing was wrong. Mion will only let me have this one day. So if I slacked off even a little bit today, today would be over quickly. I have to figure out what I should do in this limited time. I should probably talk to Satoshi-kun. About what? Anything goes. Cheer him up, sympathize with him, anything will do. More than anything, I just wanted to chat with him. However, Sis had told me, she said Satoshi-kun didn't communicate much with her lately, and had distanced himself from her. I figured I shouldn't talk to him casually. I wanted to, but maybe it was better to leave him alone. I needed to keep Sis's warnings in mind. But instead, I decided to ignore them. I looked for Satoshi-kun during lunch break. He was walking as if looking for a place where he could be alone. So I caught him in the hallway.
Satoshi-kun.
He turned around, startled by my voice. His facial expression surprised me. He was scowling, clearly a sign of rejection. But I couldn't hesitate. I'd lose my only chance if I did.
さ、元気？
He gave me a look as if saying, "Do I look fine to you?" I never expected to see an expression like that on his face. I felt like my heart was being torn into pieces. As I looked down, he spoke to me. I felt a little glad, but the next thing he said changed that.
元気だよ。他に用はないなら行くよ。昼休みは一人になりたいんだ。
そっか。バイトが大変なんだよね。疲れてるから一人になって休みたいもんね。今日もなんでしょ？今日はどこで？
Sis had found several jobs for him. He worked at a few different places. He was helping out when necessary at one of shops Mion introduced him to. As a result, he constantly had to do different tasks in a different environment almost every time. On top of that, he requested high-paying jobs from Mion because he wanted a large sum of money as soon as possible. In other words, he chose to mostly do manual labor. He was exhausted every day because he wasn't that physically strong.
どこでもいいだろう。それに僕がどこで働くかミオンなら知ってることじゃないのかい？
Mion did help him get a job. Yet Satoshi-kun didn't look thankful for that opportunity. This wasn't like him at all. It made me feel sad.
あははそうだよね。ごめん。
要はそれで終わりかい？
He sounded so harsh. Why was he being like that? Would he ever stroke my head again? I couldn't help my tears. They flowed onto my cheeks. Satoshi-kun looked confused for a moment, but then he frowned again.
ごめん。監督がさ、また練習に来てほしいなって言ってたよ。伝言。
監督にはもうチームは辞めたいって伝えたはずだよ。戻る気はないし。
たまにはさ、パッと体を動かして汗を流すのもいいと思うんだよ。ほら、スポーツっていろいろと。
興味ない。
I didn't know why he was being so hostile towards me. Why did he hate me so much? I was left bewildered.
なんで？どうして？
バイトで忙しいから。めんどくさい。
違うよ。なんで私がここまで嫌われなくちゃならないの？
自分の胸に聞けばいいじゃないか。
自分の胸に？何を？私が何をしたの？わかんないよ、サトシ君。
I couldn't control my emotions any longer. Streaks of tears ran down my cheeks. He left. Satoshi-kun gave me a hateful glare and walked away without saying another word. I couldn't even stop him. If I tried, he'd hurt me again with another cutting remark. I couldn't bear that. So I just watched him walk away. I wiped my tears and went back to the classroom. I heard somebody crying from inside. What's going on? I look around the room to see. Satoko. It was Satoko. I saw her bento box on the floor. I asked one of her classmates what happened, and it seemed that Satoko had bumped into somebody's shoulder when she stood up to go wash the box out. That was all. But Satoko was crying as if afraid she was going to be chided badly. What happened was very minor. She could just pick up the bento box and things would be fine. It looked like the lid came a little loose, but it was definitely fixable. She didn't have to cry like that. Yet Satoko started begging through tears.
助けてよ。助けてよ。いいに。
Because of what happened with Satoshi-kun, I couldn't suppress my emotions very well. So instead, they exploded. Is she gonna get angry at Satoko? I stormed up to Satoko while elbowing her classmates aside. I grabbed her by the head and then threw her into the wall. Jesus. Satoko screamed. She didn't seem to understand what had happened. She was shedding tears and shivering. She must be wondering why I did that.
なんであんたがそういう目に遭うか理解できる？
Satoko cried for her brother's help again. And so I grabbed her head and threw her again. Sadako stumbled and crashed into a desk. The desk fell and the contents of the drawer scattered about. Sadako didn't even stand up. She just crouched and trembled while looking up at me.
助けて助けてニーニーニーニーあんたがそんなだから
If you weren't like that, Satoshi-kun wouldn't have to suffer, don't you get it? That's what I wanted to say, but I was so angry to utter another word. I picked up a bunch of textbooks from the floor and threw them at her face. My god, Shion.
泣きたければ泣けばいい
And yeah, all the people in the classroom were thinking Mion is the one doing this.
でもね泣いたってね何も解決しないなんで泣くの泣けば誰かが助けてくれるからその助けてくれる人があんたの代わりにどれだけ傷ついてるかなんて想像もつかないでしょ分かってるのあんたの罪があんたなんかいなければいい苦しいなら死ねへそでも噛んで勝手に死んじゃえばいいサトシ君まで苦しめるな一人で苦しんで一人で勝手に死ねお前なんか死んでしまえ
Shion does swear a lot, right? Compared to the other characters. I don't really see like Keiichi saying like go F yourself. Yeah, he may say like shit or stuff like that, but yeah, not this word, I mean. Her desperate cries only increased my irritation.
泣けばいいと思うなサトシ君にすがれば済むと思うな甘えるんじゃないお前さえいなければお前さえいなければ
I kept on throwing things at her. Satoko curled up to protect herself and cried even harder. There goes Rika. At that point, a girl with a long hair ran up and huddled over her. I knew who that was. Rika Furude, one of Satoko's only friends.
サトコをいじめないでなのですサトコはかわいそうなのですいじめてはダメなのですかわいそうだから何をしても許されると思ってるかわいそうだからサトシ君に寄りかかってもいいわけ甘やかしてるんじゃないよこいつがどこまでも甘えてるからサトシ君が辛い思いをしなくちゃならないんだダメなのですサトコをいじめちゃダメなのです
Rika also became the target of my anger.
私はねその甘えきったサトコの根性を教育してやってんだよ邪魔しやがるとあんたの頭から叩き割るよ
I grabbed a chair and lifted it over my head. It wouldn't hurt only a little if I threw this thing at them. Rika tightly closed her eyes and covered Satoko with her body. I didn't care what the consequences would be. I didn't care if I hurt them.
やめて
Here comes Rena now. Everyone is here.
みーちゃん
Rena returned to the classroom and shouted at me. And then Satoshi is here. Satoshi-kun rushed in while pushing Rena aside, seeming to have grasped the situation immediately. He charged straight at me. Until my body had hit the locker, I didn't understand what had happened. There was a loud crashing noise. I had left a dent in it. I crouched there in pain.
サトコ大丈夫かサトコニーニーニーニー
Sadako pushed Rika aside, jumped at her brother, and started crying again.
ど うしたんだよ一体。どうして聡子が
私ね、何もしてないのにミオンさんが
Yeah, now Mion is gonna look bad.
どういうことだよミオン。
Satoshi-kun shouted at me while clutching his sister. He looked fierce.
どういうことって。
聡子が何をしたよ。僕たちが何をしたよ。なんでいつもいじめられなきゃならないんだよ。どうしてだよ。
He released Satoko and rushed up to me, grabbing me by the neck.
さっきサトシ君は私に自分の胸に聞けって言ったよね。ならサトコの胸に聞いてみりゃいいじゃない。
何を。
サトシ君だって自分で認めてるんでしょ。サトコがあんたにべったり頼ってるからサトシ君の重荷になってるんでしょ。サトコがもっとしっかりしてればサトシ君がこんなに大変な思いをすることなんてない。そいつが全ての元凶なの。
I don't believe what I said was wrong. But after hearing it, Satoshi-kun went berserk. Of course he's gonna go berserk.
こいついい加減なこと言うんじゃない。
いたたたたたたたた。
Satoshi-kun grabbed my hair and threw me to the wall, just like I did to Satoko. However, I wasn't going to back down. I no longer had any control over my emotions at all.
サトシ君だってサトコを甘やかしすぎてるよ。あんたがそうやって際限なく甘やかすからそいつはいつまでたってもあんたにすがってばかりなんだよ。
お前に僕たちの何がわかる。何がわかるってんだよ。父さんや母さんを村ぐるみで追い詰めて散々いじめて、そして今度は僕たちか。それが園崎家のやり方なんだろう。どこまでも村の裏切り者をいじめ抜く。そんなに楽しいかよ。弱い者いじめがそんなに楽しいかよ。
もうやめて。
That was Rena's voice. She stepped in, looking as fierce as a demon.
サトシ君もうやめてあげて。みーちゃんに悪気はなかった。サトシ君の力になってあげたくてその気持ちがちょっとずれて空回りしちゃっただけね。
Satoshi-kun looked like he wanted to say something back, but he chose not to.
みーちゃんももうやめて。みーちゃんが誰よりもサトシ君のことを心配してるのは知ってる。だけれどこんなやり方はそれの解決にはならない。そんなのちょっと落ち着いて考えればわかることだよね。
Since Satoshi-kun didn't say anything, I kept quiet too.
ほらサトコちゃんもお弁当箱を落としたくらいで泣くことはないよね。落ち着いた？サトコ、僕がお弁当箱を拾ってあげますよ。
The bento doesn't have anything on it, right? It just fell down. I mean, I guess Satoko can be traumatized, I suppose. Maybe at home, something like this similar happened, right? She dropped something and, yeah, her, what do you call this? Uncle and aunt got very, very angry. So that's why she's crying like this. Rika started picking up the bento box while its owner continued to cry.
みんな、片付けを手伝ってくれる？もうすぐ先生がカレー菜園から戻ってくる頃だよ。これでもう喧嘩は終わったから、先生には余計なことは言わない。いいね。
The classmates looked at each other and nodded, then started picking up the stuff on the floor.
はい。サトシくんもみーちゃんも仲直りの握手。ほら。ごめん。こんなつもりじゃなかったのに。
But it's insane though, like Shion kept throwing things at Satoko. Oh my god. Tears started to roll down my cheeks again.
僕も悪かった。僕たちがいじめられてるのは大人の都合でごめん。
さあ、みーちゃんは次にさとこちゃんに謝る。はい。
I was fine with apologizing to Satoshi-kun, but I didn't want to apologize to her. But the situation wouldn't be settled otherwise, so I reluctantly apologized. Satoko nodded, looking discouraged. After that, Arena let me go. My head ached, so I held it with both hands. What was that? What did I do? I didn't want to use this precious time to fight. Sis had warned me. She told me that I shouldn't talk to Satoshi-kun just like that. What did I come here for? I shouldn't have come here if I knew this was going to happen. Stupid Shion. I was overcome by emotions because I was so worried about Satoshi-kun. When did things go wrong? Were they wrong from the beginning? I got into a fight with Satoshi-kun. This was totally the opposite of what I wanted. I regretted it. I hated myself for it. I couldn't blame myself enough. My world had been torn apart. I wish the sky would fall and kill me. Sis sounded both amazed and confused.
ただでさえ綿流しの直前でいろいろと忙しいってのに、シオンは話をさらにややこしくしてくれるな。
True.
ごめん。
Sis tried to say something, but she stopped in the middle. After listening to a few complaints, I started telling her about everything that happened today. Sis had to pretend that the trouble I caused today was her responsibility, which must have been very taxing for her.
もう当分は入れ替わる機会はない。シオン、あんた、ちょっとは私の迷惑を考えてほしいな。
Yeah, the things that Shion does as Mion has a lot of consequences. So I guess Mion is like, can you please stop for now at least?
それは、うん。
Sis had been sympathetic, but maybe I pushed her too far this time. Of course, she'd be hesitant to trade spots considering what I did today. The atmosphere felt awkward, so we were both silent for a while.
仮にさ、もう一回機会があったとして、シオンはどうするの？
That was a reasonable question. I wasn't prepared to answer though. If I had a chance to go to the school once again and see Satoshi-kun, what would I do? Would I apologize to him about today? I don't think that would work. That might even upset him again, no matter how hard I tried. Okay, here's something that he was saying. It was a Sonozaki family who had been harassing his. It would be only natural for him to hold a grudge against us. But why was he only expressing that now? I've been a Sonozaki to him all along. Satoshi-kun stroked my head even though he knew that I was me on Sonozaki.
おねえ、率直なところ、サトシ君は園崎家を恨んでるんだよね。だと思う。
It was her family that initiated the persecution of the Hojo family, making them into scapegoats. Even after the dam conflict, it wasn't easy for the Hojo family to live in Hinamizawa. Given all of that, it's not surprising that Satoshi-kun hates us. The Sonozaki family who put his family in a devastating situation.
でもさ、だったらなんでなの？なんで今頃になってなの？なんで今頃になってこうなるの？それならいっそ。
If he had rejected me in the first place, I wouldn't have wanted to get close to him. My tears wet my cheeks, I didn't bother to wipe them. It's only natural for him to hold a grudge against the Sonozakis. There's nothing unusual about it. Rather, why has he been treating me like a friend? I knew how stupid this question was.
サトシが大人だったからとしか言えないと思う。そんなのってひどいよ。
Dude, this chapter, man. Full of crying, or this episode, I mean. He'd been treating me as a friend because he was mature. But now that he become stressed mentally and physically, he's decided to reject me. No matter how hard I thought about it, I couldn't find anything to fault him with. If there was somebody to blame, it'd be somebody I'd never accused before.
なんで鬼ババはサトシ君の一家をいじめようって言い出したわけ？ダムに賛成したのはサトシ君の親でしょ？サトシ君が賛成していたわけじゃないでしょ？なんで一家丸ごといじめようって話になったの？どうしてよ？
Mion couldn't say anything in return. Actually, it wasn't all that hard to guess the reason. The hag didn't give any specific order to harass the Hojo family. She just thought the Hojo family was getting in the way. The people around her noticed what was bothering her and took steps to get rid of it. Though, of course, she must have known how influential her own words were. She didn't just think it, she gave what she must have known would be interpreted as an order. She's the one to blame for initiating the attack on the Hojo family.
前にお姉はフルデの神主さんのことを和を乱すのは大人じゃないみたいなことを言いましたよね。つまりこれもそういうわけ。村中が団結しなきゃならない時に異を唱える北条家は大人じゃなかったと。だから制裁する必要があったと。そういうわけなんでしょ？
Mion couldn't say anything in return, meaning that my accusation was the truth.
なら制裁は北条の親だけで十分じゃない。本家の拷問室にでも連れ込んで指の一本も跳ねてやったらいい。でもそこまでで十分でしょ？
Wait, what?
サトシ君は関係ない。サトシ君には何の関係もない。サトシ君が何をしたっていうの？サトシ君に何の罪があるっていうの？答えてよ。答えてよ、ミオン。ミオン。はい。ではよろしくお願いいたしますね。
Yeah, Mion's voice is serious right now.
失礼いたします。
Mion suddenly changed her tone up and hang up the phone, I mean. She must have done that to escape from my questions, so I was furious. I started redialing the number. But then I remembered that we decided she'd hang up the phone after using that phrase when she saw the hag coming. I doubted she actually saw the hag. But it was the rule, so I couldn't call back for a while. I went to the bathroom to wash my face and cool down. I turned the faucet, the water felt lukewarm. It didn't help me cool down at all. I'm disgusted by my own childishness. I just wanted to fill my void. I didn't care about him, considering that Satoshi-kun was very generous, but I don't know if I can forgive Satoko. That's a different story. Page 26 of the notebook. I think Satoshi maybe is pushed. I remember, yeah, Mion is the one who gave him jobs, right? So maybe the people that hired him, because he's a Hojo, right? Maybe they're like pushing him a lot, like forcing him to do a lot of work. Maybe that's why he's super exhausted all the time. Plus the problems at home as well, right? Maybe. I was looking up at the ceiling with my arms and legs spread out. It's not that I wasn't hungry or wasn't getting hungry. I didn't live with my parents, so I didn't live in the school dorm. That meant I had to cook something myself when I wanted to eat. I knew that, but I still didn't feel getting up. It had been several days since I began this empty life. It must be tomorrow. The Watanigashi festival, I mean. Oh, we're at the festival. I heard a doorbell ringing. I ignored it at first, but it rung persistently. I started hearing knocking alongside Kasai's rude voice.
シオンさん、いらっしゃるなら開けてください。弁当を買ってきました。
I didn't ask him to. He must have known that I hadn't eaten enough and that I'd be feeling down lately.
やはり食事を取られていませんでしたか。
別にお腹が空いてるわけじゃないし。
But when Kasai put the food on the table, my stomach reacted in a very primitive way by making some noise.
ほら、お腹が鳴っている。食べた方がいいですよ。
I was hungry but had no appetite. I mean, I have an appetite, but I didn't have the energy to eat. Yet, I'd feel bad wasting the food Kasai had brought. So I picked up my chopsticks just to humor him.
最近はばあさんがマークしてるんじゃなかったの？私のとこなんかに来て大丈夫なわけ？
お涼さんは綿流しの打ち合わせなどでお忙しく、シオンさんのことまでは最近は頭が回らないようでしたので。クリームコロッケは好物ではありませんでしたか？
Roquettes?
うん。美味しいです。ありがとう。
While I nibbled on the food, Kasai read through the magazines I bought.
葛西は、
I'd never talked to Kasai about something like this before. Since I've always believed myself superior to him psychologically, I hesitated to show my weakness to him.
そういう悩みも年頃にしておくのは悪いもんじゃありませんよ。
葛西、あんた全部知ってる？
ミオンさんから少々。
Okay, Mion told him.
力になってほしいと頼まれました。
お姉か。
心配しておられましたよ。ミオンさん。
Without responding, I threw the last croquette in my mouth.
北条聡君の近況を知りたがっていると思いまして、少し情報を集めてきましたが、余計なお世話でしたか？
余計なお世話です。でも、せっかく集めてきた葛西の顔を立てるために、まあ一応聞いておきます。
Kasai chuckled but stopped quickly as if thinking it rude.
北条哲平が家を出たらしいです。沖宮に実婚の関係の女性がいまして、そこへ転げ込んだようです。
哲平？誰？ああ、サトシ君のおじか。
家には叔母の北条玉江と北条聡、聡子の3人となりました。玉江は哲平が別の女性のところへ逃げたのだと気づき、大層機嫌を悪くしたらしいですね。
ってことはあれだ。ますます叔母の里子いびりが加速して、 サトシ君もそれのとばっちりで、ますますに苦労してるってことか。
サトシ君の方はわかりませんが、サトコさんの方は近所でも噂になるくらい決して良くはない状況です。
If Satoko looks miserable, that means Satoshi-kun must be going through equally miserable torture.
そのおばってなんとかならないの？憎き北条家の片割れなわけだから、園崎本家で制裁しちゃおうって話にはなってないの？
She's also one of the remaining Hojos after all. The uncle is gone, so why not the aunt?
園崎本家としては北条夫妻の事故死で一応のけじめがついたので、北条関連では一切手を出すなと言命が出ています。夫妻の事故死を疑う警察が北条家近辺を未だマークしているという噂がありますので。
事故死はお社様のたたりってことになってるからね。神罰が下ったんなら、それ以上は人間が下すまでもないってこと。
Kasai put on a faint smile. Come to think of it, it is hard not to suspect the involvement of Sonozaki family in all the incidents said to be Oyashiro-sama's curse. Somebody strives to get rid of the hag's concerns on the day of the Watanagashi festival. Furthermore, the Watanagashi festival is going to be held tomorrow. Oh, so it's gonna happen tomorrow, right? I mean, the aunt died in Watanagashi festival, right? Or the night, I mean, I suppose. Will the curse strike again this year? If so, who will be the victim? Now that I think about it, there were cases of multiple victims in the past. The first and third year, it was just one, but the second year the victims were a couple. So it wouldn't be too strange if the two people fell victim this year. It seems like a good time. It'd be best for Satoko and her aunt to be the victims. Jesus, Shion. Satoshi-kun will be freed from every source of his worries all at once. If Satoko dies, Satoshi will... He will break much more. He's not gonna be freed.
葛西、今年のお社様のたたりの犠牲者は誰かってもう決まってるの？決めるのはばあさん？ならお姉は明日の犠牲者をもう知ってるってことになるな。どうなの葛西？何か聞かされてる？
シオンさん、私はその件については一切聞かされていません。
まあそりゃそうか。火災ごときの耳に本家の最高機密が入るわけもないか。
Honestly, this is basically like, remember in the third chapter, right, when Keiichi was asking Mion to get rid of the uncle? It's like, yeah, it's basically like Keiichi back then.
そういうことです。少なくとも私の関係する界隈ではそういう話は降りてきていません。ですが、ご存知の通り、本家は裏の世界の方々に通じます。私にはその一部を垣間見ることも叶いません。
Maybe I could try asking Sis about it, but she won't talk. She's strict about keeping promises, unlike me. If the hag told her to keep a secret, she'd take it to her grave.
今年の綿流しでおばとさとこが消えちまえばいいのにな。葛西、私は憂慮したよ。気を利かせてくれると嬉しいんですけど。
シオンさん、ご冗談を。
わーってるって。言ってみただけだって。
I took a glimpse at Kasai. It didn't look like he was actually going to do something to make my wish come true. I wasn't able to go to the villages myself, so I definitely wasn't going to the festival. I didn't care about that. Even so, I was interested in who was going to end up as a victim of the curse. If I just kept lying on this couch, playing hooky, somebody would fall victim in several hours. I had no clue why it had to happen every year, but I was certain that the hag was behind it. All the enemies from the dam conflict had been punished. Only the Hojo couple was left, since most of the other enemies had already gone. The cicadas were crying loudly outside. It made me feel hot. Why was it this hot and humid in June? If a Yoshiro or Yashiro-sama was actually punishing people, I'd pray for one thing. I'd pray that the evil aunt would be punished. And I offer up Satoko as a sacrifice. It's hot. And yeah, the aunt got it though. Tomorrow. When I woke up, Kasai had already gone. Looks like he cleaned the table in the surrounding room. He put my dirty laundry into the hamper in front of the washing machine too. Being a girl of a sensitive age, I didn't want a man to clean my room. Well, I'd rather thank him than mouth him. I looked at the clock and it was late at the afternoon. I had to go grocery shopping. So there was nothing left in the fridge. And I'd be having just rice for dinner if I didn't go. At that moment, the phone rang. It's gotta be Mion. It must be Kasai, I thought. I did hope it was him. He could have brought more food. So then I wouldn't have to go shopping. While I was just being lazy. I didn't feel like going out at all. But it wasn't Kasai on the phone.
おねえ、そこどこ？本家じゃない？あ、うん。公衆電話からかけてる。だから手短に話すよ。サトシから電話が来たんだよ。サトシくんが？お姉に？多分、私にじゃないと思う。シオンにだと思う。サトシは先日の教室での件を謝りたがってるみたいだった。だからその電話はシオンが受けた方がいいと思って。サトシの電話は今ちょっと忙しいからすぐかけ直すって言って切ってあるの。だからシオンは今から私が言う電話番号に電話してあげて。うん、わかった。
I was stunned for a second, but then recovered and wrote down a number on the back of a magazine.
ありがとう。すぐに電話します。そうしてあげて。サトシは最近すごく追い詰められてるの。私の声はもう届かないみたいだけど、シオンの声ならひょっとすると届くかもしれないって何の根拠もなく思ってる。
I'm sorry. She could have pretended to be me and handled this call. But she passed it over to me.
ありがとう。ミオン。じゃあね、シオン。
Before she hung up, I put the handset down. Then after a second, I dialed the number in a flash. I heard the dial tone 3 times, 4 times, and there he was. He sounded like an adult. His voice sounded a bit tired too, but it definitely was a voice I loved. I got scared. I was scared that he might become sulky again if I mentioned my name. I couldn't open my mouth for a while.
サトシくんですよね。
さっきはごめん。もう時間は大丈夫なの？
That was a Satoshi-kun I knew. He didn't sound cold like the other day.
うん。全然平気です。
After that, he went silent. I felt the urge to start a conversation. It wasn't fair. He was the one who called in the first place. Then, he finally spoke.
先日はごめん。
私こそごめんなさいです。
ミオンは謝らなくていいよ。僕がどうかしてた。
If this were a face-to-face conversation, he would be stroking my head. It was sad just talking to him over the phone.
僕は僕たちをここまで追い込んだ奴らを そいつらはミオンのとても近くにいるのかもしれないけれど、でも決してミオンじゃなかったんだ。だから僕は君にだけは謝ろうと思って。
ううん、気にしないで。私だってサトシ君のことをよく理解しようともせず無神経だった。
We apologized to each other a few times.
それよりサトシ君、大丈夫？いろいろと大変なのに、サトコの誕生日プレゼントのためにアルバイトまでして、だいぶ追い詰められてるんじゃない？もう
バイトはやめたよ。目標額のお金はなんとか貯められたみたいだからね。
そうなんだ。ならもう体を無理させなくていいんですね。本当によかった。
Satoshi-kun tried to say something, but he dropped it instead.
僕よりサトコの方が辛い。
サトコ、大変なことになっていますね。大丈夫なんですか？
あれが大丈夫なように見えるのかよ。
What is the music? Why there's sometimes some random music just shows up? He suddenly sounded upset. I'd messed up.
ごめん。ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。
I was so stupid. I had ruined this miraculous conversation with him. Satoshi-kun didn't respond to my apology, so I stopped apologizing.
あんなに誰が見てもわかるくらいに傷ついてボロボロで、みんな見捨てた。どこ見捨てた。
見捨てたつもりなんて。
I tried to calm him down. I hated what I just said because of how hollow it sounded. I had no idea what to say next. I felt guilty. Satoshi-kun was desperate to protect Satoko from her evil aunt. But I wished that Satoko would die tomorrow because of the curse. I was trampling on his desperate hope.
サトコはもう擦り切れる直前なんだ。だから。
He cut himself off in the middle and went quiet for a moment. He must have been choosing his words carefully. Then he finally spoke. His words sounded hollow.
だからせめて一夜くらい遊ばせてやりたいんだ。
え？遊ばせるって。
He's gonna ask Mion, I suppose, that to bring Satoko to the festival, right?
ほら、明日は綿流しのお祭りじゃないか。サトコを祭りに連れ出してやってほしいんだ。
それは構わないけど、どうして？
Yeah, this is like what Keiichi did, right?
サトコもいろいろと参ってる。たとえ一夜でもおばさんのいないところで羽を伸ばせたならきっと喜ぶと思うんだ。
だからどうして？
どうしてって。
It's not that I didn't understand why he wanted her taken to the festival. What I didn't understand is why he was asking me to do that. Was there any reason he couldn't take her there himself? I had a hunch that he might disappear, so I kept asking.
どうしてって何がだい？
どうしてサトシ君が自分で連れて行ってあげないの？
He fell silent. Satoshi-kun isn't good at lying or keeping secrets, so it was clear that he wanted to hide something.
用事だよ。 僕、明日はちょっとバイトの関係で用事があって、どうしても祭りには行けないんだ。
He was lying. But he was also stubborn. He wouldn't admit if I accused him.
ねえミオン、明日の夜だけサトコを頼めないかな。
I wouldn't want to look after Satoko, even at Satoshi-kun's request, but I'm also glad that he's relying on me.
あれだけの暴言をぶつけて、それを謝るついでにこんなことを頼むなんて悪いことだとは思ってるけど、ミオンだけが頼りなんだ。
I didn't know what to say. I did know though that I wasn't going to turn down his request.
うん。わかった。明日の晩だけだよ。
できたら明日の晩だけじゃなく、これからもずっとがいいな。
何言ってるんですか？そんなの嫌です。明日だけですからね。
He sounded as if he were going to disappear tomorrow. I didn't like the sound of that, so I intentionally sounded sulky. We talked about the trivial stuff, just for a little while. When the conversation was almost over, Satoshi-kun asked something else.
ねえミオン、こんなことを話すときっと精神的に病んでるって思われるんで、本当は嫌なんだけど。
どうしたんですか？
ミオンは信じないよね。
何をですか？
ほら、
He's gonna say Oyashiro-sama.
お社様のたたり。
サトシ君、何の話ですか？
お社様は確かほら、村を捨てて逃げ出そうとするとたたるでしょ。
That's the rule. Every kid in the village knows that.
そういうことになってましたね。どうしたんです？突然。村を捨てて逃げようとでもしてるんですか？
And though I was kidding, I wanted him to deny it.
もうそんな気はないんだ。もう。
He admitted that he had thought of it. I guess Rena told me that much.
いいじゃないですか。もうそんな気がないのなら。
でもまだ許してもらえないんだ。
え？
Satoshi-kun tried to say something but hesitated. He was breathing so heavily. Was he sick?
サトシ具合悪いの？
ごめん。そういうわけじゃないんだ。
サトシ君は少し頑張りすぎたからいろいろ疲れてるんです。少し休んだ方がいいです。
He sounded distinctly more sickly from when this conversation had started. He breathed heavily when punctuating his words. Satoshi-kun repeated his question.
ミオン、最初の質問をもう一度するよ。ミオンはお社様のたたりって存在すると思うかい？
What did he want me to say? Could I make him feel relieved in my answer? How should I respond? The answer was simple.
たたりなんてあるわけないじゃないですか。
I didn't know what was bothering him, but I wanted to make him feel better by laughing his worries away. But Satoshi-kun instead fell silent. Would my answer make him happy or maybe sad? I couldn't tell. One thing was certain, I didn't make him feel any better.
変なことを聞いてごめん。
あ、ごめん。
I felt like I let him down, so I apologized in a rush.
たたりだろうと、この村の何者かの陰謀だろうと、僕は絶対に消えない。消されない。
消えないよ、サトシ君は。
消えないよ。サトコに、あのぬいぐるみを買ってやるまではね。もうすぐ、お給料がもらえることになってる。その日までは絶対に消えない。
He chuckled. I knew he was trying to relieve me, but it worked the opposite way. He sounded as though he didn't care that would happen after he bought the teddy bear.
あ、おばさんが帰ってきたから、もう切るよ。
うん。
ミオン。
何？
Even though he wanted to hang up on the phone because of his aunt coming back, Satoshi-kun took a breath to tell me something important.
サトコのこと、頼むからね。
I should have said yes right away. But I still couldn't forgive Satoko. So I just kept quiet.
変なこと頼んでごめん。じゃあ。
He was obviously disappointed. What had I done? I wanted to apologize. I wish I could. But it was too late. The dial tone left, no doubt. Now that was depressing. So yeah, what Keiichi did, what Keiichi did when on the third chapter, right? So that was basically what Satoshi was doing. The same thing, right? Telling Mion to take Satoko, and then yeah, killing, I guess. For Satoshi, he killed the aunt, and then for Keiichi, uncle. Somebody whispered to me from behind. They told me that I was going to be the victim of the curse this year. So I'm going to disappear soon. So is this Satoshi? There'll be nobody left to take care of Satoko. Okay, it is Satoshi. Somebody whispered to me from behind. They told me that I don't have much time. That I won't stay as myself for much longer. So I had to make the best of the days I had left. What could I leave Satoko for? Or what could I leave for Satoko? I mean, she wanted that huge teddy bear. She wanted a peaceful life in which nobody would bully her. I whispered to the person on my back, "Bestow your violent nature and formidable strength upon me. I want your peaceful mind with hatred." Hey, that was it? That was so short. Like that was nothing. So yeah, I guess Satoshi is like descending into madness little by little. But for Keiichi back then on the third chapter, I actually couldn't tell if he's like if he was descending into madness there. It was hard to say. Like until the end, right? I mean the end he probably did, but and the uncle was I think gone in the end, right? The body was not there, right, for some reason. But yeah, for Satoshi, definitely his mind is I guess slowly going down and down for this in his part here. But yeah, I like how parallel, what is the word, parallel, I suppose? Yeah, him and Keiichi, I mean, like same things that Satoshi did, Keiichi did, right? That was pretty cool. So yes, we will continue this and do more of Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 5, Meakashi in the next one. So I'll just see you then, guys. Bye bye.